Are you using Redtail Technology CRM? If so, I'm sure you've heard the importance of good, clean data. But you also know that getting that good, clean data inside of your CRM and maintaining that good, clean data is the number one bottleneck in your office because nobody has the time to key in all of the fields necessary. And sometimes there's so many fields, it's hard to know what's the most important field to gather. So you're going to want to use PreciseFP to go ahead and eliminate that data gathering process. If we go into PreciseFP, I first want to show you this Redtail mapping table because this is going to show all of the fields that are going to sync between Redtail and PreciseFP. And if I go through this page, guys, you'll find that there's more than 100 fields that are going to sync between Redtail and PreciseFP. So what that means is, let's say you start your prospect process in PreciseFP, it'll go ahead and push into Redtail and create a new contact record automatically with all of that good, clean data that your client filled out. And hopefully your client is filling out their own information correctly, so that data is going to be ready to go and error-free. So these are all of the fields that are going to sync between the two, but it's also important to know that if you send an engagement to a current client and they change maybe their address, when you sync it back to Redtail, it's going to update any fields that have been changed. So it'll either create a record for a prospect or a new client, or it'll update a record for a current contact inside of Redtail. So if we go back to PreciseFP, you can go to templates on the left, go to the form library, and underneath Fact Finder, there is a Redtail specific Fact Finder that is going to correlate to that mapping table. So you'll notice that this engagement is going to have all of those fields specifically that are included in that sync. Now, you're also going to want to make sure that the integration with Redtail is turned on. So if you go to settings on the left, you'll go to the integrations tab, and then in ABC order, you'll find Redtail. You'll want to enable this integration. As soon as this integration is enabled, then you can go to accounts on the left, go to all accounts, and let's say you want to push Annie Anderson and her family over into Redtail. You can click on her name and choose export and choose the Redtail integration. And this is going to create a new record in Redtail for this family. So if we export it, it'll go ahead and push all of those fields that I have collected for this family and create those records inside of Redtail. Now, another thing you might want to do is push contacts that are in Redtail over into PreciseFP. What that means is maybe I've worked with Annie and Andy for a while now, and I have their Redtail profile filled out completely in Redtail already, and I want to get them over to PreciseFP. I can choose on her name, and this time choose import. So this will import Annie and Andy from Redtail into PreciseFP, so that way I have all of the fields ready. Now, something else that I like to mention is, as a best practice, you probably want to start your prospect process inside of PreciseFP, send them that Redtail engagement, and then you'll go ahead and push all of that good, clean data into Redtail. And as a bonus, I also want to talk about pre-filling forms. So if you've ever been to the dentist office, you've probably ran into that annoying situation where somebody hands you an iPad or a set of forms and they're completely blank. And you're thrown off because you've been going to this office for so many years and you have to fill this out for all of your family. And it's the most frustrating thing. So what you can do instead is pre-fill the form with the fields that are coming from the CRM or from within PreciseFP. So if we want to engage with Annie, I want to engage with a form, I want to do the custodial onboarding, I can choose review and edit first. And what that'll do is it'll pre-fill this form with all of the fields that I already have for this family. So it really makes it a better experience because if I have the field on this person, it is already going to be included. So that way, they're not starting from scratch. And this is a great way to go ahead and, use it as a way to update information. Maybe you send this engagement over to them before a meeting and you just ask them to review all of the information within. So that way, if anything is incorrect or anything is missing, then they could just make those changes and send it back to you. And you'll be surprised to see, how many people might have moved that year and never updated you. Well, the good thing is they'll go ahead and fill out that new address, and then that address will go ahead and push right into the CRM. So that is the integration with Redtail. If you have any questions, feel free to click on the chat icon in the bottom right, send us a message. We get back to you within 7 seconds is our average. And then also, if you have not signed up, you can go to PreciseFP.com and then go to the free trial button. So if there's a start your free trial, you could click on that and go ahead and test it out for yourself. But otherwise, thank you so much for your time today and have a great rest of the day. Take care. Bye-bye.